People who grew up in foster homes, when did you realize a family actually wanted to keep you? The caseworker sat across from me with a forced smile and said, "You're 16 now. Most families want younger kids. We need to start preparing when you age out of the system." Time was ticking. I'd been in foster care for 8 years, tossed around between 11 houses. There were rules we followed as kids to survive. First was eat fast and stash food away before they move you out. That way you don't starve between houses. Say yes to everything the foster parent says, even if you hate it, and even if they hurt you, because the easier you are, the longer you might stay. But I was 16 now, so staying wasn't happening anymore. Then a call came in, and I was moved to the 12th house. "It's just for a few weeks until we figure something out," the caseworker said, giving the same speech I'd heard over the years. But this house was different from what I was used to. It was an older couple in their late 50s. All their bio kids had grown and left, and I figured they just wanted someone older to help them with chores, just like the 5th family that took me in for a couple of months. They introduced themselves as Laura and Ed, saying, "Make yourself at home," which meant in foster care terms, don't touch anything, stay in your room unless I call for you. So I went straight to the room. But this was also different from the usual dusty bed space people usually gave me. They'd set up a whole bedroom for me. Queen bed, desk, bookshelf, even a working personal computer. The first bedroom I'd had since I was 8. "Sorry, we didn't know what color you'd like or anything, but we can pick out decorations tomorrow," Ed said. That was a trap, to see if I'd be a financial burden on them. So I smiled and shook my head. "I'm okay, sir. I don't need much." They looked at each other with a worried expression and insisted, "We love decorating, so I hope you'll do it together with us." I stared at them, then nodded slowly. "I'll do anything you want," I told them, but they looked at me with an even sadder expression that confused me. But that wasn't even the strangest part. I woke up to the sound of loud banging on my door and instantly shot up, thinking I'd done something wrong. When I opened the door, Laura and Ed looked at me with a surprised expression. "Oh, sorry. We tried to be quiet," Laura said. "But now that you're up, what do you think?" They grinned and pointed to a wooden plate nailed to the door with my name on it. "What about the next kid?" I asked. "Next kid? This is your room," Ed explained. And later, when we went out to do groceries, they refused to let me push the cart for them. "Your job is to grab anything you want." I stared at the box of Lucky Charms, the cereal I used to really love as a kid, and shook my head, picking out the cheapest cereal in the aisle. Laura smiled and grabbed the Lucky Charms. "I really like this one too," she winked. But at home, she never ate them. And we did more weird things throughout the week. They put my school photo on the wall next to their biological kids' photos. They took me out to the mall to buy new clothes instead of passing down old ones. We went to the cinema together and worked on homework and projects together too. And it scared me so much, because the more that we did these happy things, the more I was sure I'd get hurt when I finally had to leave. It was like I wanted them to use me, to treat me coldly, to do everything I'd seen every other foster parent do, but they never did, and it scared me. Then one afternoon, Laura walked in with a broom and tools. "Hey, hope I'm not disrupting your studies." But the IKEA cabinet I bought for your room finally came in, so we worked on it, chatting a bit about school and the new friends I'd made, when she suddenly pointed to the trash bag I had brought with me on day 1. "You should take your clothes out that bag now and organize them into the cabinet," I smiled. "It's okay, Mrs. Laura. It makes it easier to move to the next house if I don't." She pressed her lips together and sat on the bed, patting the spot beside her. I got up and sat beside her, waiting to get yelled at. "Sweetie," she said in the softest, gentlest voice, "there won't be a next house." Then she did the thing that scared me the most. She hugged me and said, "We want to adopt you." And I cried, even arguing for them. "But I age out in 2 years." She shook her head. "No, you turn 18 in 2 years, then 19 the next year, and so on. Families don't age out. Heck, I've had to ask my kids to visit several times, so don't worry," she said, wiping away my tears. "Now help me organize your clothes before Ed gets home." The court date was set for 6 weeks later. They were nervous I'd say no. They kept asking if I was sure, if this was what I wanted, like I was the one who might change my mind. The judge asked me directly if I wanted this. I looked at Laura and Ed holding hands, both of them looking at me with this desperate hope. "Yes," I said with the biggest grin they'd seen. Laura cried when the judge declared it final. Ed's eyes were red too. Last week I finally called them Mom and Dad.